Story time with Game Master Mike. Hey folks, this is Game Master Mike, and I am going to tell you all about these true stories which I'm going to tell you which really happened during recess, during my elementary school years. Now, recess is pretty much a break during school. Mine is usually after lunch, and we play on the playground. We had the biggest playground in the county. There's pretty much every time when it rains or it's wet outside, we usually play on the blacktop or go inside to have indoor recess, which I told you all the story. Now, I'm going to tell you all about what we did during recess and about this one boy, which was pretty much of a spoiled brat and always screams at everything, especially when he loses to a board game, which I'm going to tell you all about it. And so, pretty much sit back and relax, and I'm going to tell you all about these recess stories when I was in elementary school. These are true, by the way. And so, therefore, you know, kindergarteners, when I was in elementary school, aren't allowed to ride the merry-go-round, and I rode it on anyway. Of course, I got told on, and I had to stand in the wall through the entire recess because I rode the merry-go-round. And so there was also rumors about some big kids telling us that there was a body that was buried where the merry-go-round stood. Well, that was not true. I did not believe it. And our playground had this half-moon type jungle gyms where my sister's friend did a somersault on it and she broke her nose on it, which sounded extremely painful to hear about that all the time. Well, after that incident, they removed the crescent moon jungle gyms because they don't want any kid hurt or broke their nose on it, which was pretty painful, and there was pretty much a trail of blood leading to it. I don't ever want to imagine going on that again. And so, the main event, there was this boy, which I tell you how of a brat he was, especially I had a reach class in, and every time when he goes to the corner, he screams and goes on a rage. So, pretty much he had a nickname called the Son of Dahmer. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, I was wondering, and yes, let me tell you something. Back when I was in the first grade and he was in kindergarten, one time he brought some nails in his pocket, which he showed everybody, which I did not even care. So, pretty much, I did not see the whole thing because I had to sit on the bench because, you know, I got told on because I was not swinging on the swings right. So, I had to be benched through the entire recess. Yes, I was also a troublemaker during recess. I was like TJ Detweiler in recess. You know, I always get snitched on by this kid that reminds me of Randall and had to be either put on the wall or put on the bench. So, therefore, I was watching from a far distance. So, he brought his nails. And here is some creepy-ass shit that's going on here. He pretty much found a frog because there was a small, wet area in the far back end of the school, which kids aren't allowed in. So, he picked up a frog and was attempting to nail that frog on the school building exactly like a crucifix. How creepy was that? And the teacher pretty much caught him, and he had to go sit on the bench next to me. And he was yelling, they took away his nails, and he was yelling, You will pay for this, teacher! And I tried to tell the teacher, this boy was screaming, yelling, You will pay for this. Of course, the teacher did nothing. He's like, He's in timeout, stop it. So, anyway, I was pretty much creeped out. So, and also, during this days, during recess, he was telling other kids that he was collecting carcasses, so he was pretty much like dissecting them in his father's shed. Like, there was something off with this boy. Like, his mother was been in and out of the mental institution several times, and I believe his dad was an abusive alcoholic, which was pretty much why he was acting that way. So, pretty much, he told, like, the teachers that during show and tell, he wants to bring, like, bones from animal carcasses that he's been collecting from roadkill and show the entire class, which I don't even want to imagine. My stomach turned, I was shaking. I was beyond terrified of that kid. So, pretty much that's what happened. So, anyway, hold up for a second here. So some other creepy things that happened during recess, which is true, that there was a tale that there was a hidden passage that led from the playground to the school, which if you bring a shovel in, you'll find like pieces of gold that's yours and free to claim. Well, I didn't believe that story for a bit. Also, there's like a couple of times where I've snitched on some kids to get in trouble because I wanted to play with them. Like, for example, there was this hill leading up to the school that some kids like bring their like toys, like their cars to school, and I wanted to play with them, and I get yelled at by these kids saying, "No, you can't play with them." So you know what I did? I ran over to the teacher and pretty much told on them, and they got in trouble for it. So that made me into a snitch, pretty much. That was happened when I was in, I believe, 2nd or 3rd grade, I'm not sure. And pretty much, I also jumped in the mud like a few times so I can get sent home from school. But that's going to be in a future video, probably the next stories video that I'm going to tell you about my recess detention stories. I've missed a bunch of recess because I was in detention for jumping in the mud, but I'm going to tell you all about that in a future video. And there you go, folks. That is my creepy recess video. Thanks for watching, and until next time.